My friend is a toxic backstabber, so I exposed her to everyone.
Oh, no.
I, 18 female, graduated high school this year. I went to an all-girls Catholic school where most of my classmates were shallow and cliquey. Being an introvert, I would have kept to myself with just one or two close friends, but I have decent social skills and made a few more friends in 11th grade. Due to some health issues. I figured it wouldn't hurt to be on good terms with my classmates, especially in case I needed help. By the way, this comes from user Wild Rubbish on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. Among my classmates were two best friends. Let's call them Serenity and Craphead.
Great names.
I wonder which one OP doesn't like. They were some of the smartest in the class, so I decided to befriend them. Serenity was sweet, helpful, and mostly kept to herself. Craphead, however, turned out to be one of my biggest mistakes. I'm going to say Butthead. At first, Butthead seemed like a typical gossip, but my intuition told me that she was a snake from the beginning. Still, I put up with her since I didn't want to be out of the loop as to what happened at school or what was taught. Everything changed when Serenity decided to get more involved in student politics and ran for head girl. Good for her! But Butthead, she hated it. She started with comments like, Serenity never spends time with us. She's always busy with her other friends. At first, I thought, she's just feeling lonely, missing her best friend. But she quickly escalated to outright insults. Serenity is so full of herself, and she's not even that great. I could get to head girl position in an instant if I wanted.
Then do it.
Why don't you do it then? I brushed it off as petty jealousy, nothing worth getting into. Little did I know, though, that after falling out with Serenity, Butthead would make me her new target. She upgraded our friendship to best friend status, and I quickly learned that Butthead had an issue with everyone. She would trash talk classmates, teachers, even family members. For 2 years, I tolerated her endless rants in person and on calls, usually biting my tongue and ignoring most of it. By the beginning of 12th grade, things took a weird turn. We stayed back at school for a 2-night camp. And since Butthead didn't bring her phone, she was entirely dependent on mine. One night, my guy friend, who has had feelings for me for a while, though they weren't reciprocated. Butthead was jealous of that too, of course. Butthead asked if he would call. We were supposed to be having fun, but Butthead insisted that I pick up. For half an hour, she hijacked my phone, talking to my friend while I held the phone, present but unable to interrupt. When my other friend wanted to show me a picture, I left them alone for a moment. When I returned, she said, "Two adults are talking here. Do not disturb." I decided to be a good sport, so I left them to it. She ended up monopolizing my phone and my friend for 2.5 hours, draining my battery. She refused to hand my phone back even when I asked multiple times. A few months later, we were assigned various group projects. Naturally, I took on the leader role because no one else would. During a call, we were discussing props, and I mentioned I'd ask some classmates if they had a doll we could use. She snapped, "Don't ask why," like the letter Y. She probably won't have one. I'm going to give her a name. It's Yannette. I replied, "It's a doll. Everyone had one as a kid." She then said, "She might have one, but it won't be good quality-wise." I then asked her, "Why? Why is that?" She replied, "Because she belongs to a lower class. No offense."
Butthead, you are earning your name right now.
I was furious. I barely managed to end the call without going off on her. Later, we were discussing transportation to a friend's place to work on a project model. I mentioned that Z, who I will call Zach, was having issues with her ride, and I will now call her Zendaya. Mentioned that Zendaya was having issues with her ride and asked if Butthead could drop her off if needed. Zendaya is a dear friend of mine.
Wow.
So when Butthead replied, "I'm sorry, but Zendaya's mom isn't that busy. She's not a lawyer who gets many cases." That was the final straw. I stopped speaking to her outside of project work. Because of the project, I had to interact with X, another friend of Butthead, not Serenity. During our conversation, we found out we both couldn't stand Butthead. We'd both been faking our friendship with her and biding our time until graduation to cut her off. X then revealed that all the vile things Butthead had said about me, body shaming and bragging about being prettier and worse. Well, one day when I was at X's house, we called Butthead without telling her I was there. And that's when she hit a new low. She commented on my looks, saying I was draining, claimed she could easily beat me in a fight, and then said, "Don't tell anyone, but I think OP's parents are getting divorced." I was livid. That was something I'd shared in a vulnerable moment. Oh, and she had no right. Okay, so she did know.
Oh, so
Why are you telling Butthead about your parents' divorce,
Stop.
OP? At that point, I decided it was time for revenge. I had always had a good reputation and was known for being friendly and reliable, so when I finally gathered all my classmates and told them what Butthead had been saying about them, they had no reason to doubt me. And in case anyone had doubts, we made a group chat where I sent them proof because I might have ignored her BS, but my phone didn't because it's on auto call record. Call recordings and screenshots of her talking crap about almost everyone are now out in the open. Hannah, she said you go to a cheap hotel with your boyfriend and got pregnant. She even claimed you had to terminate the pregnancy. Anna, she said your house is barely furnished and looks awful, and the home-cooked meals your mom makes taste like crap.
How about
And Karen, poor Karen, she called you lower class and said you were beneath her. This made that poor girl cry because she had been going through some financial struggles and thought Butthead was a good person. X and I aired every bit of her dirty laundry, and soon everyone was in on it. The drama escalated quickly, reaching the teachers and eventually the principal.
Oh.
When they reviewed the evidence, recordings, screenshots, everything, they were stunned. The principal called her and her parents in. My classmates and I even submitted a signed petition listing her offenses: sexism, racism, classism, and more. Her dad was in tears. I did feel a bit bad for him, but she sat there in denial saying,
I didn't mean it that way.
she got her butt handed to her by the principal. After that, everybody avoided her like the plague. She even hijacked the Quiet Kid group, complaining about the whole situation until one of them ran to my group begging, please save us. She's talking our ears off. We're the quiet ones.
Why are they Irish?
We don't want to talk. We don't
Why
want
are-
to talk to her. She ended up sitting alone at our farewell, clicking selfies by herself. I don't usually take revenge, but she crossed the line when she went after my parents. Let me know if y'all are interested in an update because there's more. Well, we got an update, folks.
We got it.
We got an update. A few things that I forgot to mention since all this drama took place over a long period of time and it's hard to summarize it all. Butthead cursed her own parents and brother on multiple occasions. She also has this frenemy, let's call her Sally. Sally had an on and off relationship with her boyfriend David. Butthead at that time was dating David's best friend Derek, who Sally introduced to each other. So she started talking to David and became his friend. While she was still with Derek, she admitted to me and X that she feels some sparks towards David. A short time after, Derek abruptly ended things with her. She, who claimed that it was just a spark, nothing more, went and confessed her feelings to David, therefore coming in between David and Sally.
There we go.
She got rejected, but still, that was a huge breach of girl code. Apart from this, she has also said things about X's boyfriend, like, X isn't that great academically, but her boyfriend's, on the other hand, is in the top 10 of his class. He's preparing for so-and-so exam and is so smart. I have no idea why he's dating her. He is way out of X's league. She doesn't deserve him. She then sent a follow request to X's boyfriend. He's loyal, so he didn't accept it and told X about this. Butthead then changed her profile picture to a picture of her face. Previously, it was a blurry candid, and then sent the request again, thinking that her beauty will sway him or something. When he still didn't accept her request, she said stuff like, he's such a lapdog. Now that you have a better idea of how she is as a person, let's move on. I graduated and moved to another city with my family right after, and glad that I had finally gotten rid of Butthead. I was wrong, of course. I was settling in my new place when one day I wake up to a missed call from Butthead at 3 or 4 in the morning. I decided to call her back. She told me that her mom passed away. I won't go into details about that out of respect. I couldn't believe it, and I wanted to be there for her in this difficult time, no matter what happened between us. She was crying and talking about her mom, and I was trying my best to comfort her. It had only been a few hours. She then continued to bring up the crap that went down in high school and how she was wronged, and I have no idea what she went through. She went on and on and on about that instead of her mom. So I couldn't believe she was bringing that up when her mom had literally passed away. I thought maybe she processed grief differently, so I chose not to make any comments about the school drama, and I just listened to her. I was there for her and let her know that she can call me anytime. It had only been a few days, 5 or so, and she said that she had moved on mostly, apart from the occasional reminders and memories. I was shocked because I could never. But again, everyone processes grief differently, so I just told her that she's so strong. She subtly attacked me by saying that one can't survive by being so sensitive, and we have to be strong, etc., etc. I ignored it. Butthead, you suck. Even when this happens, you still suck, Butthead. I ignored it. She then continued to rant to me about how she has so many guy friends and so many romantic prospects and how she never really got along with girls. After this, she kept calling me a few times a week, and I picked up thinking she might need someone to talk or vent to, but she only talked about boy drama and at times still complained about ex and other classmates. Across all these phone calls, she started to weave a tale of how she met this guy who's filthy rich. He has multiple startups, and his dad owns various companies in our country and abroad. How he offered to gift her diamond necklaces and earrings casually, and she refused such an expensive gift. She then told me that soon after they started dating, his mom passed away too. And about 1 month after that, his dad remarried. She first said that she was jealous of the stepmom because stepmom and her boyfriend have been getting too close for her liking. By this point, I knew she doesn't need me for emotional support, so I started dodging her calls and picking up once in a blue moon. The next time we talked, I was hospitalized, and I told her about that. Yet she, after showing a few minutes of fake concern, started to tell me how she was now okay with the stepmom and liked her. I was lying in my hospital bed in severe pain, listening to how her boyfriend's dad had started acting weird and sent him to handle a sketchy deal despite knowing it's dangerous, just because he has now inherited the company and should be more responsible. He got shanked by the middleman, dude, and then he went back a few days later and he got pew-pewed. And he's now in a coma.
Dude.
Oh my God! He's actually an arms dealer! She continued to say how she was more worried than his family. She also fed him the same, you shouldn't be so sensitive, you should be strong BS to him when his mom passed. We will never feed you any BS.
No.
When you join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST, just tap our profile.
It's only goodness.
Do you think she's lying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Do you
know.
think she's lying? This is so...
My ICU earlier was that she was lying that her mom passed away.
I was thinking the same thing, but I guess not.
Maybe not.
I guess maybe, I mean, she is such a butthead, it would make sense that, like, she actually doesn't care that her own mom is, like, passed away.
This
She's
is true.
She's a
Yeah, it only took
pathological
me about
liar.
5
Yeah.
days to get over it because I'm so strong and cool and, like, honestly, you know, that's just what you have to do. Anyways, a few months later, I pick up her call and she's now telling me that her boyfriend's aunt has been doing black magic on him because she wants Butthead's boyfriend to marry her daughter, his cousin, so that she can inherit the wealth. Butthead continues to tell me that his health being bad and him getting literally like shink shink and bang banged were all because of black magic. This was the absolute end of my patience. I have not picked up her calls since then because I'm seriously done. Gotta set up boundaries because she is just using me to cure her boredom at this point. And that is the end of that story.
She's lying, dude. She has to be lying, bro. That's so out of pocket.
Absurd.
Stop. Like, this is too much.
I don't
What
know
is
if
this?
like it seems like OP is saying this all like it's confirmable though that she does have this boyfriend and he is really wealthy because of his family and he did actually get shink shink
That's
bang
all we
banged.
have. All we have is the OP's recounting.
I feel like OP should be
I
like...
think if this was a lie, OP would have mentioned it. I feel like there's evidence.
I don't know, man. I don't believe her.
Ugh.